Okay.
Good afternoon to all. On behalf of the PG and Research Department of Advanced Zoology and Biotechnology, Guru Nanak College, I welcome you all to the day 2 of the International Webinar Series on Recent Trends in Biomedical Sciences. We have among us a very eminent resource person, Dr. K. Karunamooorthhi, Public Health Entomologist, Faculty of Public Health and Tropical Medicine, Jazan University, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, who will deliver a talk on botanical extracts to control disease vectors. I invite the organizing secretary of this international webinar series, Mr. Sendil Vairavan, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Advanced Zoology and Biotechnology, Guru Nanak College, to introduce the resource person of today's session. Over to you, Sendil.
Thank you, madam. A very good afternoon to all the participants who have joined for the day 2 of international webinar on recent trends in biomedical sciences. Today, we have in our midst a very renowned medical entomologist, Dr. K. Karunamooorthhi, who is going to speak about the botanical extracts to control disease vectors. Dr. K. Karunamooorthhi holds an MPhil and doctorate degree in public health and medical entomology and masters in medical entomology. Currently, he is working as an associate professor in medical entomology and vector control, Department of Environmental Health, Jazan University, Saudi Arabia. In his 18 years of teaching and research experience, he has guided 8 PhD scholars, 7 MPhil scholars, 10 MSc students, 28 UG students, and evaluated 12 PhD theses. Some of his major scientific achievements include associate editor in 5 international journals, editorial board member in 15 international journals, peer reviewer for 26 international journals, published more than 65 research articles, 15 review articles, and 6 editorials in various internationally reputed journals in the field of public health, particularly medical entomology and vector control. He has written more than 15 book chapters for various internationally reputed journals, and also he is a life member of 6 reputed international bodies. Dr. Karunamooorthhi has completed 5 major research projects in the field of medical entomology funded by the Ministry of Health, Ethiopia. So with no further ado, I welcome Dr. K. Karunamooorthhi to enlighten us in combating disease vectors. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Okay, sir. Sir, I couldn't open my slide here. Can you open from there, sir? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sir,
Yes,
now
sir,
you
it is
can
visible, sir.
it has been open, sir. You can see, sir. Please see the screen, sir.
1 minute, madam. 1 minute. This one. Okay, madam. Okay, can you maximize it, madam? It's killing. Hello. Hello.
Sir?
Hello.
Hello, sir. Your screen is visible, sir. Yes. Can you hear me, sir?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello. Sir, can you hear me, sir? Hello. Karunamurthy, sir. I think some network issue. Sir, Karunamurthy, sir. Sir, Karunamurthy, sir. Hello. Sir, hello. Karunamurthy, sir. Madam. Sir, Karunamurthy, sir. Please unmute, sir. Please unmute your mic. Sir, you are muted. You are muted your mic, sir. Please unmute your mic, sir. Karunamurthy, sir. Sir, please unmute your mic, sir. Sir, please unmute your mic, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, unmute,
Go
sir.
ahead, sir.
Now clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go
Okay.
ahead, sir. Please.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. First of all, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And first of all, I am apologize for the some technical inconvenience. Is created by network problem, some other issues.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Your
Anyway,
voice is not clear, sir. Your voice is not audible, sir. Hello.
it's a great honor and privilege. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Sir, hello, sir. Karunamurthy, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. We were able to hear you, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Sir. Karunamooorthy, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can start, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Can you see my desktop, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you see my desktop?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Dear participants, please bear with us. This is a technical issue on the speaker's end. We are trying to sort it out. We are really sorry about the inconvenience. Please bear with us for a few minutes. Sandil, I'll just ask him if he can come through his mobile, Sandil.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yeah, because he can view the slides and he can come through the mobile and he can talk.
Yes, yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Because Mac has some issues and I think he's not able to sort it out.
Okay, give me a minute now. I'll call.
Participants, we are extremely sorry about the inconvenience. It's some technical issue from the speaker's end. We do understand uh, the support that you render to us to all our programs. Please bear with us today. We will resume shortly.
Yes, sir. Sir. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Okay, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is audible, sir. Yeah.
Okay,
Please
sir.
go. Please go ahead,
So
sir.
it's first of all, very good morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a great honor and privilege to be part of this.
No, Sandil is not inside.
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, madam. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me for this 3 days international webinar. And I am really extremely sorry for what happened. That's technical issues, and because I have here desktop Mac and the browser is Safari, so it is not compatible with this one. That is why the late. Sorry, I am still for the same. Okay. Anyway, so the 3-day international webinar on recent trends in biomedical sciences. So it's a great honor and privilege to be part of this event. And at this great junction, I would like to thank the management, Sardar Manjit Singh Nair, the correspondent and general secretary of Guru Nanak College, and the principal, Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, the principal of Guru Nanak College, and Dr. J. Jayanti, head of the Department of Advanced Zoology and Biotechnology Department, and the organizing secretary, Dr. Sendil Vairavan, as well as the Joint Secretary J. Sharmila Madam. And last and but not least, I would like to thank the postgraduate students and as well as research scholar for giving me an opportunity to share my views and experience regarding the phytochemical extract, the control of vector-borne diseases, especially in terms of the special emphasis on mosquito-cell properties on the plants. So in this way, I'm extremely thankful to you people. So actually, we all know mosquito is one of the major public health threat for the human health, public health, not only in India, not only in almost the entire world, throughout the world. It is prevalent almost throughout the world. It's prevalent almost throughout the world, and everywhere it is present, except Antarctica region. Throughout the world, more than 400 species of mosquitoes are identified. Okay, throughout the world, 400 species of mosquitoes has been identified so far. But though there are 400 species of mosquitoes are present, only 40 are medically important. What does it mean for medically important? Means because they are able to transmit many infectious diseases like malaria, filariasis, yellow fever, dengue fever, and many vector-borne diseases, especially mosquito-borne diseases. So this is why the mosquitoes become the major public health enemy number one for this one. So today our presentation is about the how to control the mosquitoes by using innovative or novel technologies, especially nanotechnology, how we can use it for the betterment of human beings. We will see it today. And overall, the outline of today's presentation is about number one, mosquitoes and public health enemy, number one. And global burden of vector-borne diseases. What is the global burden? The vector-borne diseases are especially mosquito-borne diseases, and global distribution of 9 major vector-borne diseases. Then we are going to discuss about what is pesticide and history and major milestones of the pesticide. And we are going to see about DDT, dichloro, diphenyl, trichloroethane. And afterwards, after introduction of DDT, and there was a book released by Rachel Carson that is called Silent Spring. So it has a very detailed manner. It has discussed about various issues about the pesticide poisoning and so many issues. So we are going to see that one also now. And beside, afterwards, we are going to see vector control. What is the importance of vector control program and everything? We will see it now. Then afterwards, we are going to see about pyrethroids. What is pyrethroid means? What does it mean? Then global plan of insecticide resistant management, nanotechnology, and green synthesis of metallic nanoparticle materials, and then mechanism of nanosynthesized phytochemicals, nano insecticides, and plant-based pesticides, and green pesticides. What are the existing challenges and opportunities are there? And risk-reduced insecticides. We are going to see these. This is my presentation. The next slide. Can you go next slide, sir? Hello. Yes. Okay. So what does it mean, mosquitoes? So mosquitoes are known as, actually the WHO has mentioned that mosquito is the public health enemy number one. Why it is so? Because insect transmitted is a major cause of morbidity and mortality in many tropical and subtropical countries. Not only in tropical and subtropical countries, and the coming slides we are going to see why it is very much important. We are going to see now. Then it accounts nearly 17% of the infectious diseases. All the infectious diseases causing more than 100% mortality or 100% death means out of this 100%, 17% is accounted by the mosquito-borne diseases. And mosquitoes can transmit more diseases than any other groups of arthropods. You know very well, arthropod contains many insects, and mosquito is one of the one. So the mosquito transmit more disease than any other arthropods. And this is why the WHO has declared that mosquitoes as a public health enemy number one. Okay, so these are some of the major mosquito-borne diseases. So malaria, filariasis, dengue, chikungunya, yellow fever, Japanese encephalitis, and the very recent resurgent emergence of Zika fever, and all these infectious diseases, all the diseases are transmitted by the mosquitoes. Suppose malaria is transmitted by the pathogen is a plasmodium, and filariasis means it is a Vector bankruptcy. A dengue fever, dengue virus, and chikungunya also chikungunya virus, yellow fever virus, encephalitis, J virus, and Zika virus. So many of them are, some of them are protozoal-borne diseases, protozoan, and some of them are arboviruses. Arbovirus means the diseases, the vectors, the virus transmitted by mosquitoes are known as arboviruses. The viruses are transmitted by this one, okay, arboviruses. So here the Zika virus and Japanese encephalitis and everything. So there are many vector-borne diseases are there. So mosquito-borne diseases are there. But what is the special thing about this mosquito-borne disease means, except yellow fever. So except only the yellow fever has the vaccine. So remaining diseases there is no vaccine. So this is the major constraint why we are struggling with a lot of mosquito-borne diseases. Okay. So okay, so this can you see this map? So this is the map. It shows that, and lot of diseases are prevalent across the globe. But if you see the death rate means the mortality. The mortality is very high, especially in terms of okay. So especially in Africa, India, you can see it in Pakistan and other South American countries. So these countries, if you see these countries, all these countries are in the subtropical region, tropical and subtropical region. That is why the diseases are known as tropical diseases. Tropical disease means that moderate temperature. Temperature is highly suitable for mosquito development, life cycle, and everything. And this is why this disease is more prevalent in the tropical regions. Okay, you can find it. And apart from this one, we should not forget that the countries are present in the tropical regions, and most of them are economically backward countries. That what's called is the developing nations, developing countries, and third world countries are. This is why, even because when the country is poor in terms of public health infrastructure, so automatically what happened? There was a poor infrastructure, health facilities, infrastructures are existing. So that means the efficiency of control the vector-borne disease is very minimized. So apart from this one, already there is a lack of health facilities, and beside this one, and there are things what we can call it. The country is suitable for mosquito development and multiplication, and this is why the death rate is very much high in these tropical countries. Next slide. Okay, and this is the global burden of major vector-borne diseases. This is the recent data I had actually from WHO. So it is available in 2018. Up to 2018 it was available. So this much of a number of deaths, and if you find it in malaria itself, 429,000. Okay, 429,000 people are dying every year because of malaria. And you can find it this number of diseases and adjusted life is there, and almost all the mosquito-borne diseases in this table. And this is the overlapping global distribution of, yes. So actually there are 9 vector-borne diseases are reported across the globe, and malaria, filariasis, dengue fever, yellow fever, Zika virus, Japanese encephalitis. Again, as I mentioned already, if you see the map, and you can find it the blue color. Next slide. Okay. So what happened? This blue color is nothing but the prevalence of mosquitoes. So when when compared with the previous slide, the death rate I have shown. So almost this yellow color map is showing that how the mosquitoes are prevalent in these countries. So this is why the disease is also more. The reason is very simple. Already there is a poor infrastructure, and apart from the poor infrastructure, and the climatic conditions are highly suitable for this one, and this is why it is highly prevalent in the tropical and subtropical countries. Okay, can you go next slide? Okay. So countries are the risk of dengue transmission. So nowadays, what happened? Now there is no malaria. There no much number of cases of malaria, but there are many arboviral diseases are present across the globes. Many arboviral diseases. You can take it: yellow fever, dengue fever, dengue, and Zika fever, chikungunya, and everything. And you can find it here. This map you can find it very easily from January to July. So this time is highly suitable for the mosquito development, and this is why the transmission pattern is very much extremely high during the season. Okay, next slide. Okay, so now we are going to see, this is about the almost what is vector-borne disease, what is the importance of mosquitoes, and how it is the global public health vector-borne disease health burden we have seen. Now pesticide. What is pesticide? Pesticide is nothing but it's a chemical substance which is used to kill, repel, control, and prevent harmful insects from harmful insects. So what happened? The ultimate aim of this pesticide is to reduce the man-vector contact, just to reduce the man-vector contact. So these are some of the mosquitoes you know very well: mosquitoes, flies, ticks, mites, lice, and fleas. So these are some of the major vectors which are not only creating biting nuisance, and besides they are transmitting many diseases. This is the reason. And apart from this one, these pesticides are very, very important, not only for in the terms of public health, in the public health domain for the control of mosquitoes and other vectors, but besides in the agriculture sector, it's mainly useful for the enhance the crop yield. That also one of the more important things. So it has been estimated that every year we are pouring about 2.5 million tons of pesticide. Especially, I am saying only in the agriculture sector alone, every year we are pouring more than 2.5 million tons of pesticides across the globe. And there are, but actually it is not calculated whatever insecticide we are using inside our house and in the public health sector sector. So beside only agriculture sector alone, 2.5 million of ton of pesticide we are pouring on the planet. This is also one of the major concern. So it is estimated that nearly 3 million farm workers across the globe worldwide, they are experiencing some sort of pesticide poisoning. Next slide. So the use of insecticide, the use of pesticide is not a new phenomenon. It is a very, very old age phenomenon, because you know very well, the human being originated nearly 3 million years. 300. Actually, the world has originated. We don't know exactly, but exactly the mosquitoes originated nearly 300 million years ago. 300 million years ago, and we have originated on the planet according to the recent data nearly 3 million years. So mosquitoes originated on the planet, this earth, more than 300 million years, and we have originated just 3 million years. 3 million years. But as far as the data available, that nearly 4,500 BC. BC means before crust, almost 6,500 years before. That is the what's called civilization, Sumerian civilization, Indus Valley civilization. So this civilization, this civilized civilization, the people were using nearly 6,500 years back. The Sumerians were using sulfur compounds to control the insects and other mites. And 3,200 BCE, that means nearly 5,200 years back. So the Chinese people, they were using some of the insecticide derived from the plants. And 2,800 BC, that means nearly 4,800 years back. So the Greek and Romans, they were using some of the trees and leaves and some of the things they are using as a pesticide. So by the end of Roman era, Chinese were using biological control measures, especially predatory ants and other some of the insects to control the things. And 1939, we have discovered the DDT. Okay, we are going to very much deal about the major milestones. So what happened? So now we are in the era of insecticide, and we are in the era of information and communication technology. So what happened? So nearly 100 years back, so we have developed a natural botanicals, because what happened? The DDT was identified in 1940s only, 1939, 1940 only. So before that, that means nearly some 70 years back. 1 minute, sorry, 1 minute. There is a low battery. This is why. Okay. So what happened? So what happened? So in 1900, so 1940 only we have developed what happened, what's called DDT and chemical insecticide. And before that, so that means what? Nearly some 60 years back, 80 years back. So there was no insecticide. There was no chemical synthetic insecticide. We are purely dependent on the natural product, especially the insecticide derived from the plants, especially neem, pyrethrum, and other things we have developed. So then we went inorganic pesticides, then synthetic botanicals, especially the synthetic botanical means the pyrethroid. The recent pyrethroid is called synthetic pyrethroids, and organochlorines. So DDT, benzene hexachloride, and these are the some. Then organophosphate compound, benzene, some of the things. Then carbamates. So these are the some of the modern insecticide we have developed. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So what happened? 1940 only, we have developed an insecticide that is called DDT. DDT is nothing but dichloro, diphenyl, trichloroethane. Diphenyl, trichloroethane. So when it was identified by Muller in 1940s, so actually the DDT was identified in 1925 itself. Some Swiss scientist, but he couldn't identify the incidental property of this DDT. Then afterwards only, 1940, what happened? 1942, Muller has identified the insecticidal property of DDT. So finally, he got the Nobel Prize for the discovery for the invention of this DDT insecticide. So what happened? DDT, a wonder insecticide. Why it is called a wonder insecticide? Because DDT has seen as a broad spectrum insecticide. Broad spectrum insecticide means, what does it mean? It can kill anything and everything. It can kill anything and everything. So that means it can be applied for any type of insects, to control any type of insects. So that is why it is called broad spectrum insecticide, but with low toxicity to human beings. So this is the one of the criteria. So what happened when the people has identified the DDT? At the time, you can find it in this picture. So the people are applying DDT, and people are simply they are standing over there. The reason is very simple, because at the time they thought that so the DDT is very safe to human beings. So that's why they never bothered about the mammalian toxicity and other things. So especially what is the important about this one? It's a broad spectrum insecticide. It is inexpensive, it's very cheaper, and it's very easy to apply in large areas. And it was persistent. Persistent means it can be persist for a long period of time. Okay. So this is also now it's a major problem. So that reapplication was needed. So the compound also appeared at first to be incredibly effective at eliminating insect vectors of disease, which lead to the hailed as a wonder of insecticide at the time. At the time means 1940, 1960. Even there are reports that, especially with the DDT, they have controlled malaria, and especially in Sri Lanka, before application of DDT per year, more than 1 million cases was reported. When they have introduced DDT in the vector control program, especially malaria control program, per year they have got only 100 cases across the Sri Lanka. So this is the history. So this is the wonder of DDT. So by seeing the success of DDT, the people thought that we can eliminate or eradicate malaria. But what happened within a few years' time, the mosquitoes developed a resistance, and afterwards what happened, DDT become ineffective, and still malaria is existing, and DDT is removed from the public health domain in terms of control of vectors. Okay, next slide. Okay, so what happened? So everything was going well, but what happened? 1962, Royal Carson, it's nothing but she is a marine biologist and conservationist, and she was the one that published the first report about the DDT toxicity, mammalian toxicity, and their broad spectrum activity, and how its effect on the environment, non-toxic organism, non-target organism, and everything she has identified. And she has published a report, published a book. It's called Silent Spring. So what happened? This one, next slide. Okay. So in Silent Spring, Rachel Carson, what happened? She said that the DDT is not safe to human being, and it's causing a lot of environmental damage, and it's killing all the non-target organism and everything. So what happened? Then at that time, 1962, because at the time John F. Kennedy, he was the president of America, and she was reporting to them. She was reporting to the scientific committee of the American president about this report. Then afterwards, what happened? Then the people they have tested, and they have identified that yes, DDT is not safe for human being, not only for human being, for beneficial organism, and as well as for the ecosystem. And finally, it was withdrawn from the public health domain, public health in terms of vector control program. Even she has mentioned that in that books, Rachel Carson taught us that everything in nature is connected, and that all our actions have consequences. Most of them are unintended. See, the lesson is just relevant today. She has mentioned this one 1962, nearly 62 years back, but still 60 years back, she has mentioned this one. So everything in nature is connected, because we know very well, we are interconnected each other in very well. So the lesson is just relevant today, is 1962. So Silent Spring should be mandatory. Read all. Actually, this is the very interesting book, and almost all the people, those are studying environmental and public health program or some other people, so almost all students must read this textbook. It's very, very important one textbook. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So vector control. Vector control is a major cornerstone in the control of vector-borne diseases. So you know very well, vector control means nothing but the intervention measures mainly used to control vectors is known as vector control. That's all. Okay. Why vector control is more important? As I mentioned already, if you are going to control any mosquito-borne diseases, we have to treat a patient. So what happened? Except yellow fever, there is no other vector-borne disease has vaccine. So only yellow fever has the vaccine. So there is no vaccine for other remaining diseases. And there are drugs are available. But what happened when the parasites are exposed to long period of time? They will develop the resistance, like Plasmodium, malarial parasite Plasmodium. They have developed resistance to many many drugs. And now we are calling about the what's called multi-drug resistant. Okay. So what happened? So there is no drugs, there is no vaccine. Then what is there? So we have to go for the vector control intervention. That means controlling the vectors by using insecticide. So, but there also there is a problem, because the reason is very simple. More than 8 years we are applying the same kind of insecticide. What happened when the mosquitoes are exposed to long period of time for many insecticide, they will automatically develop the resistance. So finally we end with the this one. Okay, I don't know how many people you know is very well. The Millennium Development Goal, Millennium Sustainable Development Goal, that is called 2030. 2030, we have to come to these stages. The UN, okay, United Nations, they have made one goal that is called Sustainable Development Goal. So they have developed 17 goals we have to reach even. So out of 17 goals, only for vector control program itself, we can achieve nearly 6. What are the things? So there will be no poverty reduction of poverty. So because what happened? Because the mosquito-borne diseases are more prevalent among the poorest section of the society. So when we are eliminating the vector-borne diseases or mosquito-borne diseases, automatically there will be no poverty. So good health and well-being. So when you are doing the very good vector control program, so there will you are reducing the man-vector contact. That means you are minimizing the transmission. So this is the one of the reason. Okay. Then clean water and okay. When you are keeping the environment neat and clean, so that itself is a good one. Then sustainable communities and cities. So this is another goal. Then climate action. So climate change also we can minimize. So these are the some of the goal we can be achieved. Next slide. Okay. So the existing intervention measures. What are the existing intervention measures are available for, especially in vector control is the major. Already I have mentioned that it is a cornerstone in the vector control in the mosquito-borne disease control program. So these are the existing interventions are available. You can find it in the yellow color. IRS means indoor residual spraying. LLINS means long-lasting insecticide net, that nothing but bed nets. Okay. Development of novel control strategies. So novel new techniques and new methods. This is what today our presentation all about. Then monitoring the program. So when you are applying for, when we are going for the vector control program, so the vector control program should be monitored, very well monitored, and it should be because then only you will come to know whether the success of the program will be defined by the successful monitoring program. And knowledge of vector behavior and ecology, that is called so we must have the proper knowledge and understanding about the mosquitoes. Suppose if it is mosquito means where they will breed and what time they will bite, what is the max, in which season the population will be high. So this information should be very much important for all of us. Then only we can apply appropriate vector control program. Then larvicide, so control of immature stages. You know very well, mosquito life cycle consists of 4 stages: egg, larva, pupa, adult. So here, actually the people always used to say that mosquito 4 stages are there. So you know very well, like egg, larva, pupa, adult. So egg, larva, pupa, they are under the aquatic environment. So that means we know where it is they are present. This is why the people are always saying that immature control is more effective than the adult control program in the vector control, mosquito control program, because we know where it is exactly present. But in terms of adult mosquitoes, we don't know. Sometimes they are inside the house, or sometime outside the house, sometime inside the forest. It's like that. Okay, this is why. Next one. Next slide. Okay. So pyrethroids. So what happened? The vector control program and pyrethroid, it's nothing but it's the name of the insecticide, nothing more than that. Whatever you are using. In India, we are using a lot of what's called repellent, Martin, Goodnight, and so many things we are using, mat, liquidator, and spray kit or something we are using. So whatever we are using inside our household properties, these insecticides are, they are insecticide only. They are insecticide only, but the issue is the active ingredient of that insecticide is known as pyrethroid. Pyrethroid is otherwise known as a golden pesticide. What does it mean, golden pesticide means? Because they are highly safe to human beings. That is why we are in the household, we are using liquidator and everything. How you will identify it? Because the pyrethroids always end with threne, lambda-threne, permethrin, deltamethrin, like this. Threne means, if any name end with threne means the name of the insecticide is pyrethroid. Okay, the pyrethroid is nothing but, actually pyrethroid has a long history. What does it mean, pyrethroid? Pyrethroid is nothing but it is an insecticide. Okay, actually initially this insecticide derived from the plant. The name of the plant is known as pyrethrum. So like our neem tree. So in our place we have neem tree. So from the neem we can extract some neem oil or something like this. So like this, from a plant that is known as Chrysanthemum cinearifolium. Probably you people may be very much known about this name, Chrysanthemum cinearifolium. So this Chrysanthemum cinearifolium is the name of the plant. This is a scientific name, what I have mentioned, Chrysanthemum. Pyrethrum is a common name. So from this plant, this pyrethrum plant is a native plant for Kenya. Kenya means it is present in Africa. So there, the tribal people were using this one for their because I already told you know the chemical insecticide originated 1940s only. Before that, we are totally different on the what's called natural control measures, especially insecticide obtained from the plants or something like this. Okay, so what happened? So the insecticide obtained from the pyrethrum plant is known as pyrethroid. Okay, forget about this one. So pyrethroid, there are two types. One is called natural pyrethroid, another one is synthetic pyrethroid. Natural pyrethroid means nothing but obtaining the synthesizing insecticide from the plant itself. It's known as natural pyrethroid. Synthetic pyrethroid means we are developing insecticide by mixing all the ingredients component in the lab. It is called synthetic pyrethroid. Okay, this pyrethroid is otherwise known as golden pesticide. Why it is known as golden pesticide? Golden pesticide means any insecticide, it must be cheap, it should be less expensive, it should be less expensive. Okay, so it is inexpensive, and it should be safe to human being. Yes, they are safe to human being, and it must be highly toxic to the target organism. Target means mosquito organism. Okay, so all these properties have this pyrethroid. That is why it is known as golden pesticide. But usually the WHO for indoor residual spraying, so application of insecticide inside the house and the bed nets and everything is treated with the pyrethroid, because as already mentioned that they are having low mammalian toxicity. So usually the WHO is recommended 4 groups of insecticide, 4 classes of insecticide for vector control programs. Pyrethroids, already I have mentioned that. Then organochlorine. Organochlorine means DDT and other insecticide. Okay. Then organophosphates, so another class of insecticide, and carbamates. So there are, the WHO recommend 4 classes of insecticide. So in terms of both safety and effectiveness, pyrethroid are the best insecticide ever developed for public health use. And this is why they are known as golden pesticide. Golden pesticide. Next slide. Okay. So pesticide and health impact. So what is the pesticide? And because, so what happened when we introduced the chemical insect 1940s, then afterwards we are using like anything, the lot of pesticides. Okay. So the indiscriminate and haphazard usage of pesticide pose serious negative public health impact. So it has created a lot of negative impact. As I already mentioned that Royal Carson 1962, she has mentioned the adverse environmental hazard. Okay. Then persistent pesticides are highly toxic, because what happened? It will be there remain. It's persistent for a long period of time. That means what? What's called, this is called biomagnification. Probably you might have studied. Okay. So what happened? The pesticide will carry it from one food chain to another food chain, from plants to herbivore to carnivorous, and carnivorous to other omnivorous. Okay. So what happened? It is persistent for a long period of times. Okay. This is the one. And it especially affect sometimes what happens when the people are exposed to long period of time for the particular insecticide. So even ourselves, when we are using a lot of this repellents, liquidator, it's causing allergies and everything. Okay, cancer, allergies, hypersensitivity, and damage of central and peripheral nervous system. One minute. Peripheral nervous system and reproductive disorder and disruption of the immune system. So these are the some of the negative consequences of regarding the pesticide and health impact. Next slide. Okay. Now, so already I have mentioned that. So these pesticides are not only harmful to the human being, but they are also harmful to the environment itself. Because you know very well, when I am applying for 100% of insecticide, 100 million ml of insecticide, 98% of the sprayed insecticides are, it's entering into the non-target organism, especially water, soil, and other places. So this is the problem. Okay, pesticide. So application of conventional herbicides into the mosquitoes breeding sites may lead to the adverse side effect into the aquatic ecosystem. So this is also one of the major concern. Conventional insecticide, this is the problem. Then pesticides are one of the major cause of water pollution. Yes, what happened? Already mentioned that, because the pesticides, they will never enter into the targets. Okay, it's always missed to the non-target places like other environmental ecosystem, air, water, soil, and non-target organisms. And this is why this is the environmental pollution. Then Due to misuse and overuse of pesticide, presence of pesticide residue, foodstuffs and vegetables. Yes. So what happened when the insecticides or pesticides are enter into the food chain? What happened? It's contaminate the human beings. It's contaminate the foodstuffs, food, rice, vegetable, and everything. Almost all. This is why now we are very much regarding the organic vegetables. Organic vegetables, we are very much worried about this one. And even there are many reports are suggesting that even the breast milk is containing many high amount of DDT, high amount of DDT. And the one, next slide. Next slide. Okay, so what happened? The indiscriminate and injustice use of pesticides has led to the development of risk. So what happened? So after the discovery of this one, so after the discovery of DDT, chemical insecticide, we have developed. We were using huge number of. 1 minute. Okay. So the indiscriminate and injustice use of pesticides has led to the widespread development of resistant. So resistant means you know very well already, the immunity or the capacity to develop against the insecticide. The immunity or capacity developed by the insects against the insecticide is known as resistant. The resistant has been observed more than 500 insect species. Already it's reported. It's according to the WHO data regarding 2014 itself. Okay. Including malaria mosquitoes. So mosquitoes are typical or strategist. Okay, what does it mean or strategist means? Because what happened, these insects, these mosquitoes, they can produce their offspring within a short span of time. If you take mosquitoes, usually the lifespan means egg, larva, pupa, adult. These 4 stages. To complete their entire life cycle, it need minimum for 14 days. That means 2 weeks time. But what happened in the tropical countries like India, Pakistan, Africa, and other part of the world? What happened? The temperature is highly suitable. The environment is highly suitable for them. So what happened? They will develop the egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Everything is will be complete. The entire life cycle will be completed within a week itself, 7 days itself. This is why the environment is suitable for mosquito development. That means what happened? If other part of the world, the mosquito life cycle may take 1 month or 2 weeks. But what happened in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Africa, and other places, the mosquito life cycle will be completed within a week itself. So what happened? So within a short span of times, they can produce more number of. A single mosquito can produce thousands of offspring in their lifetime. So what happened? Within a week, another. So this is why the density of mosquitoes is very much extremely high. Okay, then therefore the widespread usage of insecticide in agricultural public health resistant is relatively rapidly in mosquitoes vectors. So when we are exposed to long period of time, they will develop the resistant. So these are the next slide. Okay, so these are the pyrethroid. So what happened? Already I have mentioned that the WHO recommend four classes of insecticide: pyrethroid, organochlorine, organophosphate, and carbamates. So out of this one, pyrethroid is called the most golden insecticide. Why it is called golden insecticide? Because it has the low mammalian toxicity and high toxicity towards the vector. But what happened? If you see this map, you can find it. This one, all the red colors, red and yellow batches. This orange color batches are nothing but these are the countries where they have developed resistant to the pyrethroid itself. Because pyrethroid is the only insecticide. And apart from this one, the recent studies shows that there is no recent new insecticide in the coming years, maybe another 50 years. That means what happened? We have to solely depend on the pyrethroid only in the vector control program. But what happened? It's already in many parts of the world. Already they have developed a resistant to this pyrethroid. So it's not a good thing for good news for all of us. Okay. Then next slide. Okay. So what happened already? The vector control program now jeopardized. Okay, it disturbed by the insecticide resistant. So what happened? According to this one, the WHO developed the plan, global plan for insecticide resistant management strategies. So we have to do something, because as I mentioned already, another 50 years there will be no new insecticide like pyrethroid, because it's not under the research. So this is the one. So they have mentioned that there are five pillars for this one. So plan and implement insecticide resistant management strategies for malaria endemic countries. So we have to maintain some insecticide management techniques. Ensure proper and timely entomological and resistant monitoring system. So ensure the proper timely entomological, because periodical monitoring and evaluation program, the development of resistance status must be checked every times must be checked, and this is the one. And develop a new innovative vector control tool. This is more important, this one. Today topic is only about this one. Develop a new innovative and vector control tools we have to develop. Okay, then fill the gaps of knowledge of mechanism of insecticide resistant. So there are informations are lacking regarding the insecticide resistant management. So that information must be studied, and well thoroughly must be studied through the scientific evidences. And apart from that one, ensure that enability of mechanism, advocacy of humans, financial resources are in places. Okay, so we have to allot the adequate funding for this one. Okay, these are some of the things. So now there's 5 pillars. Next slide. Okay, so now our today presentation is about the nano insecticide. What is nano insecticide, and little bit maybe this one. So nanotechnology is nothing but the study of matter is nanoscale. Okay, it's known as nanotechnology. So the recent trend, the recent years, we are studying a lot of things are known as synthesis of silver particles. Okay, so now it is developing as a new field in the nanotechnology world. So recently it has been received much attention due to the biocompatibility. Biocompatibility means it is very much safe to the ecosystems. Okay, and low toxicity. Again, this one also low toxicity. 1 minute. Low toxicity. Then and user-friendly nature. So they are very much user-friendly, eco-friendly. So safe to human being and safe to environment. And this is why we are very much concerned about the nanotechnology. It's good, very good to use. Okay. Okay. Next slide. Okay, nanotechnology. It's an emerging field with a wide range of applications. Okay, nanotechnology is not only for developing or synthesizing insecticides alone, and it can be used in any part of the field. Okay, in the health, in public health sector, industrial sector, food and agriculture sectors, and environmental sectors. So it can be used in many places and various domains of public health sectors. As an anti-cancer agent, we can use it, and anti-drugs agent. Many antibiotics can be developed from the nanotechnology, and there are many things that we can study. Okay, okay. Then silver nanoparticles. Okay, silver nanoparticles are very much important. It possesses peculiar toxicity mechanism due to surface modifications. Okay, so what happened? I think we are going to study very detailed in the coming slide. This is why I am not mentioning. So I think in this picture, next slide. Okay, their peculiar toxicity mechanism due to surface modification, and this may actively contribute to the excellent mosquito cell potential against the Clystridial larvae. Okay, so what happened? If you see this picture, you can find it that very well, cuticle. Cuticle means the outer layer of the mosquito body, like our skin. Skin like a cuticle for its skin of mosquito is known as cuticle. So cuticle, there are many layers are there. Exocuticle, endocuticle, like this. What happened? This nanoparticle going and damaging the cuticle. So automatically what happened? It will enter into the mosquito body and it will disturb the almost all the mechanism. And I will show you the next slide. Next slide. 1 minute, 1 minute. Some problem in my laptop. Sorry, please, 1 minute. Wait a minute. Okay, so what happened, these nanoparticles? So they will enter into the mosquito cuticle, and finally they will enter into the cytoplasm, nucleus, and everywhere they will enter, and they damage the whole physiological activity of the mosquito larvae, and finally it will kill them. Okay, so recent days. Okay, so recently several plants have been successfully used for this nanoparticle synthesis of green synthesis for efficient and rapid extracellular synthesis of silver, copper, and gold nanoparticles. So these are some of the plants. Next slide, please. Okay. So same slide. Okay, sorry, same slide, please. Okay, so these are some of the plants. Asafoetida indica, neem plant. These are some of the plants we have. Actually, many researchers, not by me, and many researchers, they have synthesized by using the nanotechnology as an mosquitocidal agent. And you can find this picture. You can find it very easily. This is the bitter cord. So bitter cord, the peel they have taken with peel, and they have added some silver nanoparticle, and finally they have developed the pesticide. So like a chemical component. So this chemical component can act as a mosquitocidal agent. That means the killing of larva, immature stages of mosquito, and as well as it can act as a helminthicidal agent. Helminthicide means killing helminths. Next slide. Okay. Green synthesis of metallic nanoparticles. So it gained much attention due to the eco-friendly and cost-effective and highly stable nature. Plant extracts are highly stable nature. Plant extracts are reacted with the metallic salt. So maybe in this picture you can clearly visualize it. Okay. So this is the plants, and microorganisms are there. So they will taken from the extract from this green color one. Okay. Then they will add the salt. Okay, metallic salt. Then finally they will this plant extract and salt, they will converted into the nanoparticles. Okay, silver ions. Okay, we're adding the silver ions. So finally you will get the biogenic nanoparticles. So the nanoparticle, they are in different shapes are available: spherical, triangular, square, red, and everything is available. Okay, but the nanoparticles can be affected by the various factors like like temperature, pH, salt concentration, acidification, and many other things. Okay. So actually there are two things are there. So you can extract from the microbes and as well as plant, but microbe mediated synthesis, especially bacteria, fungi, virus, and their products, you can use it. Then synthesis of nanoparticle easily, it's very much easy by using plant than the microbes. Yes, this is the one. Next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is the mechanism of nano-synthesized phytochemicals, and you can find it here. This is the nanoparticles. Okay, silver nanoparticles. So what happened when we are applying this one? when we are treated with the mosquito larvae. So what happened? The nanoparticle, the red color one, okay, the red color will enter into the mosquito body. So this is the cell membrane. So cell membrane, this is the cell membrane is nothing but a cuticle. So what happened? It will disturb the membrane disruption. So it will disturb the membrane. So automatically this red color will enter into the mosquito body, especially mosquito body, and it will affect the NK pump disturbed. You know very well the nervous systems. Okay, it will affect the nervous system. Then finally it will enter into the, because it will increase the permeability of nanoparticle. So finally the nanoparticle enter into the cuticles. Okay, so after entering into the cuticle, it will go and kill almost. It will make lysis. It will disrupt almost the entire what's called mitochondria, lysosome, DNA, all the component. It will be disinterrupted. So finally the mosquito will be killed. Okay, cytosol. Okay, cytosol, protein, DNA, nucleic acid, endoplasm. You know very well. Endoplasmic reticulum. It's extremely useful for the protein synthesis. And mitochondria. It's known as a powerhouse. Okay, then it will damage the nucleus and everything. Okay, so this is the mode of mechanism. Okay, nanosyntheparticle inside the mosquito body. Okay, next slide. Okay, so nanoinsecticide. So nanoparticles are highly naturally hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means they are having high affinity towards the water. Okay, then disseminate uniformity in water and stable in water. Okay, disseminate uniformity, and it is highly stable and had substantial larvicidal activity. Larvicidal activity means the efficiency, the efficacy to kill the larva is known as larvicidal activity. Recently, there are several increased number of blood-borne compounds or plant-borne phytochemicals or compounds have been researched for their efficiency as the extracellular synthesis of nanoparticles, which exhibit the potential activity against the mosquito cell properties. Why plants are actually, when chemical insecticides, plant insecticides are very potential. Why? The reason is very simple. Because the plant contain many bioactive compounds, primary, secondary metabolites. Okay, that means a very complex mechanism. There are many complex chemicals are there. So what happened? The mosquito cannot develop resistance very easily with the plant extract. Okay, with the plant extract, and this is why they are unable to develop resistance against the plant-based insecticide than the chemical insecticides. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, so nano-insecticides. So they are very much non-hazardous. So it's safe to human being, environment, safe to human being, and safe to non-target organism, and potentially lethal against mosquito disease of vectors. So it is very much lethal. It can be effective compared to the other larvicidal interventions. So when compared with all other intervention means the control measure. Okay, other intervention, and it has the reaction rate is extremely high. So apart from this one, it has the increased efficiency towards the pest, increase the solubility, lower pest resistance, potential low risk to the environment, and its controlled release. Controlled release means slow release formulations. So what happens when you apply insecticide? Because when you apply our liquidator, it may be useful only 1 day or 2 days. Okay, but slow release means once if you apply, so it will persist for a long period of time. Slowly it will release their effectiveness. Okay, slow release on. Okay, then next slide. Okay, so this is the recent study. It was done is due to 2020. So they have found that the nanoparticles. So when we increase the concentration, okay, this is the concentration increased method. So when we increase the concentration, you know very well, the mosquito life cycle consists of 4 stages: larva, pupa, adult. Okay, so they have studied about the larva stages. So in the larva stage, larva itself divided into various instar: L1, L2, L3, L4 like this. Okay, L1 means very small one. Okay, the first day larva. L2 means second or third day larva. L3 instar. The instar means substages within the larva itself. The substages known as instar. So what happened? They have tested with the nanoparticle, which is synthesized from the plant, and they found that when they increase the concentration, the larval activity, the efficiency is increasing based on the according to the concentration. This is what is all about this one. You can find it this picture, this graph. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Then ovipositional assay. Oviposition means nothing but egg laying process is known as oviposition. Okay. So because you know very well, they have to lay the eggs. That is called ovipositional assay. So again, here also based on the concentration, the oviposition also is disrupt. So beside that, the bio-nanoparticle disrupt the mechanism of mosquito breeding, not only feeding, resting, ovipositional behavior, and other physiological activity. Almost it disrupt the entire physiological activity of the mosquitoes larvae, mosquitoes itself, not only larvae, even the adult itself. Okay. So this is one they have studied. Okay. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so plant-based pesticides, otherwise known as green pesticide. Why it is known as green pesticide? Because they are safe to human being, safe to environment, and safe to ecosystem. And this is why it is known as green pesticide. So in terms of insect resistant, so we have to identify the new insecticide, innovative vector control strategies in order to protect our ecosystem and human health. Therefore, the use of phytochemicals. Phytochemicals means the chemicals obtained from the plant is known as phytochemicals as an alternative source of synthetic insecticide larval agent in the fight against vector-borne diseases. It's become quite inevitable. So there is no other option. We have to go for this one. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, so what happened? As I mentioned already, using insecticide or chemicals, using insecticide in the human history, it is not a new phenomenon. It is a predated time immemorial process. As I mentioned already, more than 6,500 years itself, the Sumerian people, they were using some sulfur as a insecticide agent. Okay, so it is a age-old practice. Even before the advent of modern synthetic insecticide, our ancestors, our forefathers, we are solely dependent on the plant-based products as a pesticide agent. As a result, we have to explore the user eco-friendly plant pesticide, and we are all just around the corner to reinstate the synthetic insecticide by plant-based products in the mosquito control programs. So we have to identify the new one. Okay, this is the one. Next slide. Okay. Indeed, plant-based pesticides can be slightly toxic to the non-target species. But we cannot say all the insecticides are safe like that. We cannot say it. But there may be toxic, but it's a very slight mild toxicity will be available for non-target species. But when compared with the chemical insecticide, they are broad spectrum. Broad spectrum means if you apply, they will kill each and anything and everything. It will damage the whole ecosystem. It's harmful to the human being and everything. But here it is not like that. The green pesticides, because when the people are screening for the plant, they are taking from almost from the medicinal plants. Whatever the plant we are using as a medicine, they are taking extract from this one. So what happened? They are having the medicinal properties. So there may be some small side effect here and there, but when compared with the chemical insecticide, plant-based insecticides are slightly toxic, but they do not accumulate in the environment. That is called biomagnifications. So there may be some slightly toxic in the non-targeted species, accumulate in the environment. Okay, there will be no bioaccumulations or in the food chain. Okay, and especially as I mentioned already, pyrethroid is nothing but permethrin. Permethrin means pyrethroid. Okay, so already I have mentioned it's a golden standard insecticide. So what happened? They will break down quickly. Break down quickly means it will not persist for a long period of time. It will break into small particles. That means the organic insecticides are converted into inorganic insecticides. Okay, so least poisonous insecticide to mammals. So this is why even today millions of bed nets are treated with the potential pyrethroids in order to save millions of malaria morbidity in tropical and subtropical countries of the world. Yes, it is a boon. You don't know. Actually, I have served in Africa more than 17 years. 11 years I have stayed in Africa. There, bed net is the life-saving tool, because you cannot imagine, because malaria is one of the most killer disease. It's one of the most killer disease. The cost of the medicine may be less than $1. $1 means 60 rupees Indian currency. But without that 60 rupees, even there are many children who used to die because of malaria. The funniest part And the most unfortunate thing about malaria is not like any other disease, like a HIV/AIDS. HIV/AIDS, there is no proper preventive, there is no curative measures. Curative measure means there is no drugs are available. But for malaria, there is a preventable strategies are available, and there is a what's called curative. Curative means drugs are available, but still every year, according to the WHO, more than 5 lakh people have died last year alone because of malaria. Though the preventive and curative interventions are available. Okay, this is what the why. Next slide. Okay. Perspectives and key challenges for green pesticide. Although the usage of plant-based pesticide is part of tradition and culture in the developing countries, actually, it's actually using plant as an insecticide is a age-old tradition. If you take in our India, during smallpox, and we will have the neem tree in our house, and we will put it here and there. Okay. If you take our religious function also, we used to have neem tree, neem leaves, and everything. Especially Amman Kovil, Amman temple, the whole what's called Adi month, Adi Masam. We used to have a lot of functions, because the reason is why actually for each and everything in Tamil culture, we do have reasons, okay? In terms of Adi month, Adi Madam, okay? Adi months, we have a lot of functions in our Tamil tradition and culture, especially in Amman temple. The reason is very simple, because during that period, not now, more than 200 or 300 years back, smallpox are widespread common during that season, that Audi months. So that's why they used to make it all these functions are during that season. If you see that one, during that Audi season, people will use more neem trees, neem leaves. So it was like a traditional culture, and it was our part of our traditional culture. This is why. And fortunately, during the Corona period, and again we are trying back to our old traditional culture, and now we are using a lot of spices, Indian spices, in order to enhance our immunity. So this way we have to thankful to the coronavirus to see our culture, at least to see back and what has happened in the past. Okay. So anyway, so over the past 3 decades, there is a tremendous dedication and commitments developed by the researchers in order to develop a plant-based ideal pesticide by various researchers. So as a result, over thousands of plants has been identified and evaluated as a mosquito-control agent in terms of insecticidal agent. Insecticidal means nothing but just a chemical to kill insects. Okay. Then anti-feeder, repellent. Repellent means just to drive away the insects. Okay. Ovipotent deterrent activities, insect growth regulatory activities, and anti-vector activities. So these are the things we have studied by various researchers. More than 2,000 plants has been identified for their insecticidal properties. So, and finally they have found that the plant kingdom has the potential warehouse for developing a new insecticide. Not only phytotherapeutic agent, but we can develop the lot of phytochemicals for insecticidal property. Okay. Since green pesticide challenges and opportunities, green pesticides are relatively safe. There is a demand for developing a new pest control tool from the plants. Okay, since they are relatively safe and there is a demand, and when we are going for the developing a new insecticide, so we can minimize the heavy reliance, because we are solely dependent on the chemical insecticides, and it has to be minimized at least some part of time, some place in our life journey. We have to stop and we have to look back, and we have to identify our roots. Okay, so this way we have to minimize the heavy reliance and adverse impact on human health and environment. Then there is a need for interdisciplinary experts team in order to evaluate the green pesticides. So entomologist, ethnobotanist. Ethnobotanist means the people they used to study about the plants which are used for the medicinal purposes. Expert in phytochemistry, pesticide experts, and ecotoxicologists, to progress from the active ingredient to public health pesticides. Because what's the problem I am observing? I am a researcher in the public health domain, and always I used to believe that we are doing a lot of research for our PhD, for our own publication purpose, and so many things. And finally, we are end up with a single publication, and we will get the promotion, and we will get the increment, and we will get a new post, and we will run away. but this research must be converted into this active ingredient, and it must be it has to reach the people, common people. Okay, so this is where we are lacking. Okay, risk reduced pesticide. What are the opportunities are existing? To date, only a few plant-based insecticide agents, pyrethrum, citronella, neem, have been successfully commercialized, and we are using many, especially pyrethroid, as I mentioned already, liquidator and everything is pyrethroid. There are vast number of literatures are existing on mosquito properties. However, we have miserably failed to build everlasting, strong interlinking bridges among the scientific laboratories to the manufacturing industries. As I mentioned already, in the scientific laboratories, we are inventing a lot of medicines, lot of drugs, lot of insecticides, but we never enter into the marketing, manufacturing industries. Okay, so we need therefore a strong workable collaboration between the research institute, particularly higher learning institutions like your colleges, institution, and insecticide manufacturing industries should be built. So there is a strong commitment need. Okay, so the policymakers need to play a crucial role in order to bring all the pertinent stockholders to identify a new class of potential insecticide. I already told you, another 50 years there will be no new insecticides, but still we have to search potential insecticide from the plant kingdom in the near future. And these are some of my references, and thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Can you go the first slide? Okay. First of all, I am extremely sorry. The problem is for the technical issue, and I am unable to do it. I am really sorry because my desktop is iMac, so it has only Safari. So whatever you are having, this one, it's not working with the Safari. It need a browser. It's called Chrome or something like this. So this is why these all things happen. I have prepared a very good slide, but I don't know whether I have presented very nicely, but it's not up to my potential. I know very well. But anyway, I am extremely sorry for this one. Now you can have your, now you can ask your doubts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And there are a lot of questions in the chat box.
Okay,
I'll just
sir.
read out the questions for you, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah, one question from Devasmita: is there any bad effect on human health by pyrethroids?
Yes, there are. When compared, there are some allergy reactions. That is why some of us we are unable to use repellents for a long period of time. You know, when we are using mosquito coil, we feel allergies. Even myself, even including myself, breathing difficulty we used to have. And that there are, compared with the chemical insecticide, it's very much minimal. This is the one. There are some allergy reactions will be there, but when you are using for a long period of time, they may develop something. Okay, but we have to minimize as much as possible, sir.
So next question from Dr. Jyotito. Thank you for the very informative session. Can you suggest plants that can be potential sources of effective insecticides, especially indigenous to India?
Yes, okay, it's a very excellent question. Actually, India is known for this plant-based insecticides. We have a long tradition and long culture. It is not like very easy, you know. Actually, almost even my belongs to this one. I have made a comparative study. Actually, I have worked in Ethiopia for a long period of time, in Africa, Western African, East African countries, and over 22 years I am working abroad. Okay, and what I have found that India has a very potential resource in terms of plants, especially you take it neem. Neem itself, neem, each and everything. Neem is actually neem, you know. Throughout the world, if I go anywhere, the people will always ask about the neem. So you have neem itself is more than enough, but still we have a lot of plants are there. What's called that? I don't know the scientific name. Tulsi, neem. There are many plants. Even hibiscus anapinus, this semberiti, there are many plants are there, sir. Almost all plants they have tested. I think more, as per my knowledge and understanding, more studies are done with plant-based insecticide in India than any other part of the world. Almost we have done many research, especially from Annamalai University, University of Madras. You take it Bardea University, Professor Murugan, earlier he was the Vice Chancellor for Professor Murugan. Earlier he was a Vice Chancellor of Tiruvallur University, and he did many research on plant-based insecticides. I know pretty well. In Bardha University, they are doing plenty. I think in Bardha University alone, they have screened more than 100 or maybe 1,000 plants. Okay, sir. Then
another question from Ajmala. Is there any limitation to formulate combination of botanical and synthetic pesticide?
I'm unable to. Please, can you repeat again, sir?
It is there on your screen, sir. Is there any limitation to formulate combination of botanical and synthetic pesticide?
Okay. We are not reached that level actually. This is what I know. According to my knowledge and understandings, we should not do it. We should not mingle this one. This is called we should not do it because we still we are not that much level advanced, scientifically very much advanced, not very much advanced to know what is exactly happening when we are mixing with the chemical insecticide and plant-based insecticide. We don't know, but there are studies I know pretty well that they're mixing different component of chemical component and they have enhanced, that is called synergist. There are studies even within the plant extract itself. Suppose neem extract and tulsi extract, and they mingled this to mixed the two and enhance their larvicidal and repellent potential and everything. But I have never come across that mixing with chemical and this one. Because the reason is very simple. We don't know what will happen. Now, like our corona, we take it corona vaccine. You know very well, vaccine, clinical trial need 7 stages are there. Directly we came to level 5. So now the vaccine is coming means we don't know because we have to study long period of time. Then only we'll come to know the side effect, safety, potentiality and everything. The similar way here also. When you are mixing the chemical component with the biological component, that biochemical component, we don't know what will happen because, and we don't know because we have to go furtherly. We are 10 years whether it has some carcinogenic effect or whether it has some environmental detrimental effect, or it may be cause some other side effect after a long period of time when the human being are exposed to such type of insecticide. So this is there are some limitations, sir.
Okay, sir. And one more question from the same participant, Ajmala Milakal. What is the suitable solvent that can be used for organosulfur extraction of allicin from plant leaves?
Okay.
Organosulfur extraction of allicin from plant leaves.
Actually, the people are using petroleum ether and Hexa. They are using petroleum ether. I think it could be useful because it will not damage the what is called the active metabolites. Petroleum ether is far better. Petroleum ether or sometimes acetone. This is why we are using these two components because the reason is very simple. It will not modify this ethane. Acetone and petroleum ether, it will not modify the plant metabolites, and this is why we are using more.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your elaborate and very informative presentation. Now I request our HOD and the Dean of Research, Dr. J. Jayanti Madam, to propose the vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sendil. Thank you, sir, Karunamooorthy sir, for the wonderful session that you have given. The chat box is filled with compliments regarding our session. People really enjoyed the entire session and they found it very, very informative. At the outset, I'm very thankful to the resource person of today's session, Dr. K. Karunamooorthy, Public Health Entomologist, Jazan University, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He has shared with us a very informative knowledge on vector-borne diseases, which is of global concern. These diseases account for a significant number of human illness, and he has given us an overview on how to control these diseases by natural extract. We are thankful to you, sir, for this wonderful session on the vital area of research for human development. Thank you once again, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, madam, and for the technical issues and other things, madam. Okay, anyway, otherwise, it's
no problem, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session, sir. A small announcement to the participants. Dear participants, we are really sorry about the technical inconvenience caused for some time. Please fill the feedback link posted in the chat box. Join us tomorrow at 12 o'clock for the final day session of this international webinar series. We expect your support and participation again tomorrow. Good day to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. You are always welcome.